Hello and welcome to Arsenal X Boss Rush Podcast, Xbox Podcast. I am here with Eddie V.
I'm excited to be here.
Throwing up that X. It's been a while.
Yeah, he got fired and then he came back. What?
I was just waiting to guess who threw this stuff. Hello, everybody.
And then he puts the boss in Boss Rush, Corey Derrick.
Hello, I'm here to talk about Xbox, not Resident Evil 4. Joke for you, for everybody who didn't see the live show. So
we would leave that alone.
Yeah,
just like Resident Evil 4.
Just listen to,
you know what? I got some good Haagen-Dazs ice cream.
Whoa, let's play a game where you can shoot and can't run at the same time. That's fun.
Okay. Well, this is episode 87 of the show. I know this is the first time since I've hosted it that I've said the number because
it's
I'm
right.
still
Ed's,
new at this.
Since Ed started hosting Boss Rush, he hasn't said a single number yet, so it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, honest. Yeah,
I mean,
honestly,
it doesn't really matter at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, because usually you have a number on them a lot of times anyways, like when you download it, I think. So it's not, I mean, we could say numbers, but who's counting?
Not I.
So
it would probably make it a lot less stressful every time you start the show, because like every time I start Nintendo Power Block, I start with the show number, and I literally have to look up the show number every time I do the show notes because I'd never remember what number it is.
Yeah, since I've been hosting this, I'm just trying to make it like as just chill and just easy as possible. We just have a conversation and just wherever it goes, it goes. So, I'm gonna start with you actually, Ed. We're gonna get into our arsenal and what's in your arsenal, Ed?
So I actually started a little bit of Tales of Vesperia, Definitive Edition for Xbox One.
Nice.
Yeah, just really. I brought it in for a while, and it's been sitting on my Xbox. It looks really cool. It looks like it's gonna be a fun game I'm gonna get into. Every time I look at it, I'd be like, I want Tales of Grace's F that came on PlayStation 3. And I'm just like, I kind of want to come for that to come back out, because it's been a while that I played a Tales game, and still one of my favorites, Tales of Symphonia, and then Grace's F is right underneath that. So I can't wait to play Vesperia. I have two of them on PlayStation 4. But I'm just like, I think it was like only $10 on Xbox One on a good sale. So I picked it up. Yeah. Picked up Final Fantasy 13 today. It was only $8. Nice. I played it on PlayStation 3, but never got to finish it. And I want to run through it again. And I know it's on GamePass right now. But I'm like, I'm going to give this game another try. Because what I didn't like about it is that most of the game splits your whole team up into two people parties, and I'm just like, I don't like this for some apparent reason, and it really don't give you enough time to grind, like really level up and be able to handle bosses and stuff. And it's just like they made this a little bit too difficult, even though it's very linear. Like you really don't feel like it's a role play game till you get like later on in the game. So I'm going to give it another try, and I'll probably end up finishing on Xbox One. Played a little bit more of Control. Just got my shield ability from the training facility. Trying to go back in, since I got like my key card for number 5. I'm trying to go back and run through some things, see if I can get into some nodes, and destroy some his nodes, that kind of stuff. I don't know. I'm not feeling Control. I don't think it's Game of the Year material. And I think I know we discussed this on Boss Rush about the technical problems, but it's just like I don't enjoy the map system. Um, the fighting can get fun, like the shooting and stuff. It can get fun, but too many times that when you get to an area, it keeps repeating and adding those enemies. And it's just like I got to get through this section more and more, and because I don't have a map to like really skip it or anything or get around on anything, it just feels like this is becoming redundant, you know. So I mean, I respect it for what it is, but I I just don't feel like it's Game of the Year material. It's a great game, but it could have been better. And I think something about Remedy is that it feels like they don't have a Q&A testing facility, or they don't let people who don't work at Remedy come in and test the game. It looks like everything that's being done is only for people who have worked on the game.
Well,
And because they
that
know,
Q&A was going to probably be run by 505 because they published the game, right? And like,
yeah,
I don't know if 505 gave them a big enough budget to have a proper Q&A. I mean, like, I'm sure people played it and were like having a good time, but also they were probably constricted by their budget because they wanted to stay at a very specific budget, right? And
right,
that's
because
why a lot of
Remedy, this is all for Remedy.
Yeah.
Like this is from their budget.
Yeah, I mean, like I just you when you play Control, like it looks like a really like high profile AAA game, but then like once you really start noticing stuff, like there's a lot of reused assets, a lot of the at least towards the beginning, a lot of the enemies look similar, with like a procedurally generated kind of like that like what they look like, but they're all pulling from the same assets, and then once you get deeper and stuff, then you start to notice differences. But that's kind of like they were smart with their asset use. It's kind of very Nintendo-esque in that way, where like the reuse of their assets, they just try to be really clever to hide the way that they reused assets and stuff.
Because if you look at it, like their enemies look like Alan Wake.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they use. I'm sure they use some. Like, I'm sure they have a whole slew of assets that they've used before that they probably try to disguise with different. Like I said, like
different textures,
different kind of like quote unquote costume designs, or you know what I mean, like
And they have those shields up, like because like the whole nature of those characters they're these kind of like shadowy kind of characters anyways, so you can't really tell distinct features anyways. Like there's subtleties to their faces and stuff like that, but there's no real distinct, like actual features of their faces and stuff like that. It's kind of they're just kind of like this like remnants or whatever.
Yeah, and it's like when you destroy them, they kind of explode, and I don't know, it just has an Alan Wake feel to it, and I'm not mad about it, even though Alan Wake wasn't a great game too. There's just something about you guys don't Q&A and test your games. Reason why I think I like Quantum Break, because Quantum Break felt different.
Well, plus they had that Microsoft budget behind it, and Microsoft's Q&A team, and they had I mean, no offense to 505, but 505 is not Microsoft, right? And
yes,
as I actually really hope Quantum Break gets some sort of like special re-release or something, because I think a lot of people missed that game. Same with Sunset Overdrive. Like they just missed those games because early Xbox One didn't do very well. So
right. And I really enjoy Quantum Break from the story to the the TV parts. The live action stuff, I literally could see that as a TV show. Like, I was really enjoying it. I like how they broke up that flow. And it felt like Microsoft and Remedy coming together to make that game that really no one else could make in the sense. Like
I don't know who produced the show for it, but whoever produced the show for it, I thought did a really good job too.
I think Remedy did on Microsoft's budget.
Oh, okay. Okay. Because and for me it was kind of like it was like I was like I liked the show parts a lot because a lot of the actors and actresses that they used were people from shows that I was watching or loved at that time. And so like that, that kind of helped it along for me as far as my enjoyment of those episodes in between. But yeah, like I feel like the people who have played it that really did not like it, I never really was on the same level as them with that, like that feeling. Yeah, there were certain things about it that they could have did better, but overall, I really did not have a issue with that game at all.
And like it feels like when the game has a good flow when you're in the battles, like I love the lighting in this game. I love it. They really did a fantastic job with the red hitting the ground and the darkness with the when the building moves and the just like the white reflection. Like a lot of stuff in this game, technically, I mean graphically, looks really, really good. And it's just like I wish that just some of the stuff was a little bit QAT, so that it could be a little bit more balanced. I mean, don't get me wrong, like the game is challenging, but it's not like you can't get through it.
Well, and part of me wonders too if this could also be one of those situations where, like this will be the first game that they produced with them. And, like now if this game, proved itself in 505's eyes, they may get a bigger budget next time.
Well,
and, but like that's the thing is I don't know that for sure, but a lot of the times the first game is going to be like you've got like this very small budget that you've got to prove that you can do something with, and then from that point on, if they feel like you deserve it, they'll give you more money.
I think the thing about it is that the budget was Remedy's budget. I think the only business that they have with 505 was the publishing. So 505 might have did like publishing so it could get to stores in the marketing. So part of those sales would go to 505. And well, I would say, but it still should be under contract that some of that money of people who still buying it still go to 505. Because I think now with their deal with Epic Games, they may have a higher budget. And they split the profits 50-50. But the thing about it is, even if they have this higher budget, we have to see what they do next. I think Max Payne and Max Payne 2 is the only sequel that Remedy did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, unless you want to include like the Alan Wake stuff that came out, that was
the like Nightmare one, the DLC.
Yeah, but that wasn't technically. I don't think it was actually DLC. It was almost like a small, like a small game that took place, after. I mean, I guess it technically was DLC, but it seemed more like a standalone.
Yeah, I think they considered it as DLC because it continued after the ending of Alan Wake. So it didn't feel like it was a brand new game. Like Far Cry Blood Dragon, like that. That's a game that it's DLC, but it actually could be a game on its own. In a sense, even the Far Cry 5 one follow up in a sense. But I'm making my way through it. I like where it's going and stuff. I'm really impressed, like graphically on how it looks. But it's just like if you guys would have just, I think if they wouldn't be like, if you already got past through the section and you had this big battle, you don't need to have this battle ever again.
Well, yeah, they kind of explain why characters keep coming back in, because like you're trying to like extinguish, like I won't go into it too much, but like there's there's obviously there's a reason that they're being able to enter into this building from wherever they're from, and so that's what it is. It's almost like they're you may be killing them off in an area, but you still haven't contained the actual problem. so they therefore are still able to come back in. And so that's why they sometimes when you go in a room that you were just in like a little while ago, it will be back, like they'll be back in there. Because I think it's kind of the same thing too with like when you fast travel or any of that.
Yeah,
like
with some of the
sometimes
fast traveling. Yeah,
it will sometimes it will redo, and then all the enemies you may have killed in an area are back there. It's kind of like a Bloodborne or type of game where it resets when you use a campfire or whatever. But
I try to run and get past it and be like, I don't feel like fighting.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna run.
But I'll tell you this, like I was at the same area you are right now when I was playing through the beginning of it, where it kind of was slow starting at first and it wasn't grabbing me as much as I wanted it to. Yeah. But like as I went through and got like more abilities and like started to pick up more on the story and stuff, then it started to click a lot more with me. But
because I'm at the part where I'm about to go meet the brother. That's my next mission.
Okay.
So but I'll leave it right there. That's pretty much what I've been playing on Xbox. And I tried a little bit of Doom Eternal. But I'll speak about that on Boss Rush next time when I play a little bit more. So but that's what's been in my arsenal.
What's been in your arsenal, Corey?
Well, not a whole lot of Xbox, to be honest with you. I've been playing a lot of The Witcher 3, but it's been the Switch version. So I mean, I'm really into it. I'm really glad I started playing it again because the first couple times I tried it, I just couldn't get into it. But now I'm like really, really into it. So I'm really glad I started playing it. I also played a little bit of Madden, and I tried to get into a match of Bleeding Edge this morning, and it just wouldn't load for me. Like the matches just wouldn't like. I don't know if there was just like. I know Xbox has kind of been trying to catch up with the coronavirus and I know they're setting kind of record numbers of Xbox Live use, but I couldn't get in today. So I wanted to try that because I wanted to talk about it on the show, and I just couldn't get in. So I mean that's kind of about it. And I know I don't really have a lot to say, but we did watch the whole Tiger King documentary, which.
That was interesting.
Yeah, I don't want to talk too much about it, but I just we watched it and I was like, this is just like all the other documentaries we've watched. I don't understand it. I mean, I guess it's like how crazy like the people are in the show.
Yeah.
Instead of like the story itself, but I'm just like, I don't know. It was fine, but I just I lost sight of like why are all these people hyped about it. Like it's just weird.
Well, I think the documentary kind of lose sight on itself because of what the premise is. They don't really try to stick to the premise of it. They try to the first half they try to they try to talk about all these players and stuff, and then later on they're trying to get into what the actual documentary.
Yeah, well, I think what it is it starts off and you just you're like, okay, well this guy is weird, the Tiger King, the guy that's calls himself the Tiger King or whatever, that he's weird and he's crazy, but then you start to realize that like he starts to become almost the most sane of like a lot of the people that you meet later. It's like he's nothing compared to some, like even though the woman that he's at a feud with, she's psycho. Yeah, she's psycho.
Yeah,
too. Like
a lot of people think she killed her husband.
I'm pretty sure, dude. Do you get threatened that the way that he threatened her? Do you have someone do that to you and you just laugh it off all the time? No, dude, if you're not insane, you'd be freaked out that someone is like, shooting a doll that looks like you on videos and and doing all this stuff, and she just laughs about it.
Yeah.
Like she like it's I said to my wife, it's almost like she in her mind she's like, I hope he comes and tries to do something so I have a reason to kill again.
That video here, kitty kitty.
Yeah. Yeah.
His videos, I was just like, what is going on with this?
That's the thing, is that like it's not like it's a good documentary, but not in the way that you would normally consider something good. It's good and just like it's just weird. It's like
it would almost be like, I mean, I know they
meme.
I know they couldn't really do this, but like it would have been better as like a reality show.
Well, and it was like that was what they were recording during the beginning of it, but then all that got burned in the fire or whatever. Yeah. But because I would have loved to see that show. Oh my God, that would have been great.
I think it's what was the Wisconsin one?
Making a Murderer.
Making a murder.
Didn't they make a second season to that?
Yeah. The second season was way better.
Was it?
Because because you actually learn a lot more. Like a lot of like you find out just how poorly planned and how they had like no time basically to have any kind of decent like investigation or anything done to be able to try to defend Stephen Avery in his first in that trial and stuff, because they had no money to do any, or no like experts of any kind to do any kind of like investigation like on forensic wise or anything. And so the whole second one is this woman that wants to take this back into court again and do it the right way. She actually like hires experts to like look at everything and do things, and it's just much more. There's much more information there.
Why is it that stuff that deals like with country or southern like not to be disrespectful to anybody, but like redneck country white folks, why is those kind of documentaries are always good? Like the Westboro one is a good one. There's one of them that I think they were like in Mississippi. The state of Mississippi was trying to take the land from these people, and they were crazy.
There's the one, the weird and wonderful whites of West Virginia or whatever.
Yeah,
I forget what it's called, something like that. But it's like that whole show. Like it's just a bunch of like meth heads and like I don't know, man. They're just it's crazy.
There's something fascinating just watching it. Just be like, this is a train wreck, but this is intriguing and stuff. Like
I think it's like why people watch reality TV shows that are just messed up, is because it's so far from anything that you would experience in your life that you just can't help but just watch it and be in awe at just how people can make such poor decisions and still like have children and
this always right, and it's always up to the directors on how to frame, and I think that's kind of how we look at PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo. Like when we see their behind the scenes stuff, like even like the God of War documentary, stuff like that is fascinating because we get to see people in real life put their time to create a product that us gamers are going to play, buy, and judge. And it's
something that we don't experience in our life that we actually get to see in the making. Right.
And I think it's always exciting to like even read books and see just video about that. It's fascinating with a lot of documentaries sometimes, but those kind of like country ones, just like, what in the world am I seeing? And sometimes you just zone in because you don't believe what is happening, but you like the story that is being created, that these filmmakers are doing when it comes to that.
And speaking of rednecks, I fired up Wreckfest last night and this morning, and that's what I've been playing. I've been playing some more Wreckfest, and man, I love that game. It's so fun. I was just playing the series or whatever, like just the single player campaign or whatever, where you just got like every series has got like a different kind of objectives and stuff that you got to do. Most of them are racing, where you just got to race, your standard racing, going like 3 laps or 4 laps around the track and try to be first place. But some of them, like the one I was playing before I ended my stream today, some of them are like really, really challenging. Where I was playing where you have to, on this track, you have to race 3 times. You got to go around the track, but in that time, I was a bus, and then there was a whole bunch of those 3-wheeled little van-looking car things. And I had to destroy 8 of them before finishing the final lap. So, and I was like, I think the best I did is maybe destroyed 4 of them in the 3. So it's really like challenging me to try to figure out how to destroy those things without like destroying myself, or just without still also like not doing well in the race. It's super challenging, but yeah, there's so many fun things in that game that you can do, like just like they have like your regular bowl, demolition derby bowl, where everyone's pointed towards the middle of the circle, and then you just kind of all drive into the beginning, and you got to smash everyone up and be the last one standing. Yeah. I played one of those where all of us are in a combine. Those, and if you don't know what a combine is, it's the big like tractor things that it's got like a big spinning thing in the front, and what it does is it will grab corn off the corn cobs off of the stalks, and then it spits it out into the back. The corn into the back, and then leaves the stalks or whatever. So you're driving these big ass honking combines, and you're just trying to smash into each other and be the last one standing. And it's just, that game is just, I don't know why, but like the Destruction Derby games and all that, like they were so simple and so easy, but man, they're just so much fun to just like. I think it's because it's just mindless fun, like it's just, you just drive around and smash into each other and just have fun with it. You don't have to like stress out about it at all. It's honestly, it's pretty easy. Like I used to play racing games all the time, so I still do pretty decent at racing games. But some of them give me a challenge, and I like that too, but usually it's in a different way, because it's like there's some kind of objective or something that I got to do and that I'm just not great at, like because you almost have to figure out which parts of your vehicle are able to hit stuff without doing a lot of damage to yourself, but doing damage to them. So like you've got to try to hit cars in just the right spots and try to figure out where your weak spots are on your vehicle. And like it is a little bit deeper of to it than just hitting each other. You got to really like figure those things out. So it's fun, but yeah, you said, Ed, that you eventually wanted to get it, but yeah, it's definitely like I'd say that it's right up there with as good as like how I felt about the Destruction Derby 1 and 2 when those came out for PlayStation originally. Like I used to love those games, and this definitely feels like a amazing, like updated successor to it. So if you like that kind of stuff, it's definitely a lot of fun. Even just racing. If you like racing games, like this just takes racing to another level where you can smash into each other and like have the whole front of your car just completely mangled, and still be able to drive, but it realistically like will affect how you drive. Like if your frame is all bent up, your car isn't going to be able to drive straight, or like it won't be able to get up to speed. It'll only be able to go like maybe half the speed it normally would, or they've got some pretty real physics in this game, and I think that's what makes it stand out for me. Why I wanted to get it so bad in the first place when they announced it. So just the realism that they really touched on in that game. They did a good job with all the physics and things. It's an amazing game, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So
nice.
All right, yeah. So we should probably get into some Arson news. I just pull up the my news stuff here. All right, so the first thing in the news, so it's the 10-year anniversary for Nier Automata, and
Nier.
The first one.
Well, yeah, 10-year anniversary for it. Yeah, that's I always forget that Nier Automata is technically the second one.
It's technically like the 10th one, but
yeah,
it's like that series is weird.
Well, I mean the second one, the second one
Nier.
Since like the
it's like Nier is technically a spin-off of Drakengard 3 or something, which is like a spin-off series of another series. It's like this whole deep web thing. It's crazy. Look it up if you guys are interested.
Well, yeah. So the Nier Automata is going to be coming to Game Pass. Now, it's rumored that it might be April 2nd or April 3rd, but no actual date has for sure been given at this moment. By the time you guys are listening to this, that could change.
It probably will be one of those days because Square Enix is doing a sale on Xbox, and when I went to go check it, that game wasn't on it.
Yeah,
it wasn't on sale.
I'm sure it's gonna be pretty quick here, because I mean it's almost April already anyway. So
is it?
Yeah,
we've been in quarantine so long. I don't know. What day is it?
Yeah.
So probably Wednesday, because that's Wednesday.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, and so with it being the 10th year anniversary of the Nier Replicant, which is the Japanese version, they're actually they're talking about remastering that, but they don't want to call it a remaster, and then release the remastered version of the last one or whatever for and then bring it to PS4 and Xbox. So yeah, the last one was on 360, I believe they said. So yeah, that last one, like that original one or whatever. So
because I thought the original Nier was on PS3 and 360.
Yeah, it was. Well, the original one was, but this recent one, obviously they didn't bring to Xbox or whatever. The Automata was only on PS4.
Yeah,
I mean now
the Replicant. I think that one
that was on 360 and PS4.
Was it only in Japan or here?
Well, it was only in Japan, I believe, because it says that was the Japanese version.
It's one of those,
and it had a different character.
It's one of those things where, like, you know how sometimes Final Fantasy or Kingdom Hearts gets like the Final Mix Plus edition in Japan, and we don't get it until like these weird collections come out. Like I think that's what it was for Nier.
What it was. Okay.
Yeah, I mean we got like the base version, but then Japan gets the cool extra, pretty much director's cut version of it.
Which is weird because 360 wasn't big in Japan.
No, but PlayStation 4 was. Or 3 was, I mean. It came to PlayStation
that's true.
3.
Yeah.
I keep saying 4, but it's 3.
Yeah, and I don't know what you guys think about this, but like I personally this is one of those, Nier Automata was one of those games that like looked interesting enough to me, but I could see it being one of those type of games that just doesn't do it for me. Mm-hmm. And so with it coming to Game Pass, I definitely am going to give it 100% shot and see if it's something that I'm going to like. Because if it is, I probably will end up buying it. But I just didn't. Like yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I figured, but I still would like to try it and just see if it's something that I would like. So
I have it for PS4, and because it mixes up a lot of different game styles, and it feels like from different developers, because you don't play a lot of 2D shooters and you don't really play a lot of action style games. You trying to figure out that system, some of those systems in that game, and definitely if you do decide to beat it and you play another different character, everything switches because there's like 5 endings to it. I don't think you're going. I think you might give it a try, but then you're going to go back to Call of Duty. You're going to go back into something completely else and really just really forget it because it's not going to connect to you. Not saying
and we'll see, because I mean I honestly like all those type of game types. It's just they're like, my problem is like that's all that kind of stuff is I used to play like back in the PS1, and a lot of during that time, like I used to play all that kind of stuff. But the problem isn't really that I don't like that kind of stuff anymore. It's just very few games come along that use that kind of stuff that also has a story or characters or whatever that I'm actually interested in. I'm interested in the Nier character. Like I think she looks cool, and like I've always thought she was a cool looking character, but I just
if you could stay with it for 2 weeks and not stream Call of Duty, not stream anything else, like really focus on it and force yourself to play it for 2 weeks, I think you will like it. I think you'll prove to yourself like, okay, now I got what this game is, and then talk about it. But the moment that you just jump to something completely else, it's not going to stick. It really won't stick with you. So it's just something especially for you. You just have to really stick with it in order to get it.
Yeah, and I've been looking for reasons, honestly, to play something other than first-person shooters, because like I still enjoy them and everything, but it's just like I kind of want to try something different. Like I've been wanting to like go to like GTA 5 again. I've been wanting to go back to Remnant, and I've been different stuff. I need to go back to Star Wars, Fallen
Jedi.
Yeah, Fallen Jedi yet. So like I've got a whole bunch of like other type of games that a lot of times lately have sounded more interesting to me. Like I said, I was playing Wreckfest, like that, like out of all the games I had, like that's just for whatever reason I wanted to go back to that really badly. So lately I've just been kind of wanting to play something different that I don't normally do. So this might be a good time for me to get into that then, because either that or Tomb Raider.
Yeah, and this being on Game Pass, I think that a lot of people be like, if you have not played this game or picked it up on Xbox, definitely get Game Pass. A lot of people are just like, this is worth whatever they're charging for Game Pass.
I mean, I think right now, PlayStation or Xbox is offering the first like 3 months for $1 right now, because of this coronavirus stuff. So I mean, it's I'm sure playing this game along with a lot of other games is worth $1. So
yes,
just saying. I mean, there's a lot of great games on that service already, but this is another one to add to that. So Although I have noticed they've been pulling a lot of games off of it lately.
So. Yeah, and don't forget too, if like anyone that listens to this, if you have Xbox and you're paying for, Xbox Live and you've got Game Pass, and like you really should be trying to do the Microsoft points stuff, because like if you bought Doom, then there's 6,000 points. If you bought what was the other one? Right now if you buy Resident Evil 3, you'll get 6,000 points. Like there's a whole bunch of things, and you can trade those points in for months of Game Pass as well. Like so technically if you do that kind of stuff and you do the grind of that, like you would in a RPG, you can basically pay for all that stuff just by doing the grind of clicking on the things that it wants you to. And like it's really useful if you pay attention to it. I've gotten so much for, extra money and stuff like that from doing that. That honestly, I've bought games and movies and things with the money that I've gotten back, from spending money. So it's basically like an instant rebate. So, but all right. So the other thing, and we kind of touched a little bit somewhat on this with PlayStation, and so Microsoft has been kind of limiting certain uploads and stuff because of the COVID-19 and stuff. Obviously, like Corey said, a lot of people are in record numbers are going online because they have nothing else to do, and they just want to be entertained. And so temporarily for right now on Microsoft, on Xbox, you do not have the ability to upload custom gamer picks, club picks, and club backgrounds. Those things they basically have just kind of turned off for right now. They just looked at them as kind of just not really nonsensical things, but just not necessary things that would be using up bandwidth during this time. And so they're just kind of doing things like that, little things that people will probably barely even notice they're doing in the background, to try to just stop bandwidth from being used. So
yeah,
you guys have anything? No,
I mean, I think it's good to turn off features that aren't priorities, because I know, and this isn't just Xbox, but online gaming is seeing a surge in record numbers. Steam had 22 million concurrents the other day. Xbox and PlayStation are both seeing surges to the point where PlayStation is actually slowing your download speeds of your PlayStation games. I mean, I know that has nothing to do with upload speeds, but they're turning off features or slowing down features that aren't really necessary to keep the service running because of all these people. So, I mean, I'm glad to see a lot of people are spending more time playing games and connecting with friends and stuff, right? That's probably the most important thing right now. I mean, that's what we're doing, right, with podcasts and stuff. But
my wife actually, I have my tablet or whatever, my Samsung Galaxy tablet or whatever, and my wife set it up so my son Max could use they have the kid-friendly Messenger app for Facebook, where you just set it up so you don't need to make them an actual Facebook thing or whatever. You can just set it up so then he can talk to people who are on Facebook who have accounts. And so he's been calling up my mother and father-in-law he talked to today. He's been my mom just got, my sister made my mom a Facebook account now, so she's on Facebook. And so So he's been talking with his grandmas and talking with his cousins and talking with my sister and stuff like that using the tablet now. So he's been enjoying that a lot. It's been kind of fun, just because during this time it's like you got to make the best of it, and so he's just been loving it. So, but it's kind of fun, that's where technology, is times like this that it's great, when you can do things like that. So,
yeah,
but yeah,
I think it's good of him doing it so people just get online and game with friends and stuff, and not have to worry about any problems and stuff. I mean, if it helps ease Microsoft online structure so that people go around the world could jump on and easily play a game, then yeah, it's good that they did it.
Yeah, and like Corey said, they're not the only ones. I mean, Netflix and there's kind of all different stuff going on with this because obviously Netflix and all those things as well. You're going to see a lot of people using them and stuff too. So
yeah.
All right. Now this one I'm really excited for. So, but I'm gonna take it with a grain of salt. All right. So according to the Gaming Revolution, who is a guy who likes to leak stuff on Twitter and YouTube, he had come across supposedly that we were going to be seeing Modern Warfare 2 and 3 remastered campaigns. So there's rumor that there could be Modern Warfare 2 and 3 remastered campaigns.
I'm not surprised.
I would love that, but
I bet they're bundled.
Yeah.
I mean, with Modern Warfare being so kind of hot right now, and the first game Remaster came out a couple years ago at this point, 2 years ago, last year. 2 years ago.
There's a couple.
So I mean, What?
Yeah,
Go ahead, somebody. I'm sorry.
Because it came out when PlayStation 4 had Black Ops. Was it Black Ops 3? And PlayStation 4 had that.
No,
the Modern Warfare remaster.
Modern Warfare remaster came out.
That came
right,
out
PlayStation.
With the,
right, PlayStation 4 had it exclusively to them. When I think Black Ops 3 or one of them, they had that.
No,
they had that connected to
it. Was advanced. It was Advanced Warfare.
Advanced Warfare. Okay.
Yeah.
It was connected to
like
that
3 or 4 years old now, I think, at this point. So. Because it was Advanced Warfare, then Black Ops 4, right? It was Advanced Warfare, then Black
Infinity
Ops.
War, I think. It was the order
or Infinity War. Yeah. Okay, so it was Advanced Warfare, then the World War II, and then Black Ops 4, and then this one. So 4 years, about 4 years old now.
Yeah, because I know PlayStation 4 had the remaster. Did I think a year after they made it separate for Xbox players?
I can't believe that. I can't believe that came out in 2016. I thought it was way sooner than that.
Yeah, no, it was. Because I remember it.
The original Modern Warfare 2?
No, Modern Warfare the remaster.
Oh, the remaster.
Yeah, because well, I think the thing is like so many people were kind of upset with it because like they just didn't like how it was being handled. Because I think I think it was it was like only for PS4 for a limited time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for a whole year.
But I don't.
It's because Activision had all that exclusive stuff with PlayStation.
Yeah.
So.
But like I mean, I would love to see the campaigns get remasters and go back, because like I tried playing the original campaigns and like they definitely show their age. like it's not, they weren't bad, like they're not bad campaigns, but it's just they definitely haven't aged well. I feel like things just like the way missions and things move nowadays, it's just much more smoother. I feel like they've really gotten down the pace and kind of the feel of their campaigns more recently. Back then
Plus, you don't have the monster closets and the ridiculous checkpoints either. That was like the big thing was like the monster closets, and like especially if you're playing on veteran, like the whole like getting through veteran was basically just sprinting to the next checkpoint and hope you don't die, pretty much.
Yeah. I didn't play Modern Warfare 3, but Modern Warfare 2 story was disjointed. And I'm just like, I'm so sick of this game. That in Battlefield 3 did the same thing where it just kept jumping around. So I'm not looking forward to this remaster. I would get 3 since I never played it, but 2, I'm just like, even with the airport level, that wasn't shocking. It was just like, okay, whatever. And it was just, I don't know, that campaign for Modern Warfare 2 was a janky, disjointed mess. Like, I can't remember all of it that happened, but I knew that game should have ended like 9 chapters in, and it just dragged on off.
Well, and and unfortunately during that time, like online multiplayer was just like the thing, like that was where they really started putting all their money, a lot of money into that. And and then eventually they started, I feel like, like balancing that out and putting a good chunk of money into the campaign and in multiplayer. And it seems like now they've got a really good balance of really trying to make sure that both are really well done. I feel like at that time they like that's when multiplayer was just so massive, and it was almost like they just like they did a campaign, but
that's why people were buying Call of Duty was for the online. Because to me personally,
why they still buy online Call of Duty.
Yeah, I think for me personally, the best campaigns they have is Advanced Warfare and this new Modern Warfare. I think those are the 2 best campaigns that has been in the whole Call of Duty series.
The new Modern Warfare campaign is seriously one of the best, really first-person shooter campaigns, like period, that I've played. Like it's so good. Like I really like how they did that one. Because like man, like that beginning part when you're clearing that apartment complex as a group, and you're just going up the stairs and like there's like people, there's babies crying, and you're just like you're so on edge. They did such a good job of just making you really feel like you're stressed, and you're just like, okay, man, they did such a good job with that. Like I was just like, okay, I think that person is a good person. Don't shoot them. It's just like, man, and then there's like some twists and turns in there that I won't wreck, but yeah, it was a really good campaign for sure. All right, so there's this thing that happened, and we kind of talked about it in our chat a little bit on Friday night. The code stuff for the Series X apparently got stolen, and they were holding it for ransom. For what, I forget, what was the amount of money? Was it $1 million?
It was $100 million or something stupid.
Yeah, 100 million. Yeah. Yeah. So a hacker had gained access into AMD's servers and stole a series of test files from the current and future AMD graphics processors, including one of the Xbox Series X's. So yeah, just they say in this article, just like in the movies. But So yeah, I obviously if you're Microsoft, you probably just say, "Oh well." I mean, like
Like
I don't
what?
know.
Like my thing is like, what you gonna do with it? Like they already. It's not like Microsoft don't have a backup somewhere because they probably do. Second of all, the system is already made. People already have the development kits in. Like what are you going to do with this? Like
The only thing I could see them doing is like if they wanted to sell it, like sell like give like tell Sony or something, like someone from Sony, like give them the like coding or whatever, so they would know like how the or people know how the processor works or something. I don't know if it would allow them to create a backdoor type thing in the service for the console. I guess that's the thing. I don't really know a whole lot about like these kinds of things, like when it comes to like hacking and all that stuff. I don't know any of that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm kind of with you. I don't really know what they're capable of doing with having this, but
right,
it must
Microsoft.
be something that they
Right,
could do. I don't know.
Microsoft is not going to give that person that much money for them to do a source. You
Yeah.
already stole it. It's not like you stole it. You're gonna give it back to them in its original
Yeah.
state. You already probably made copies of it to give it to the black market. So Microsoft shouldn't, and I think they won't. They already probably have like we got a copy of this. It's out there. We can't
Yeah.
really do nothing. Only thing we could
Yeah.
do is hand this information over to the FBI and let them handle it. And if they catch the guy, great. That person's gonna be getting some years in jail. You
Yeah.
know, and
And
like
well, and
yeah,
honestly, I feel like this affects AMD more than it does Xbox, just because like I don't know if they have like some kind of like information, because it says that it's got future information about AMD's graphics processors and stuff. So like I guess potentially if you know someone who could make these kinds of things, they could technically try to make something. But that's the thing, is even if someone made something that was exactly like what they were planning to make, then you would just have to try to find out how that person got information, or like I don't know. It's
or
it's just it's a
and, it-
mess.
and like it's not like AMD is already making something completely new that will update what they just stole. AMD is probably on top of it. They'll probably have something new by June or something. AMD
Hmm.
is AMD is quick enough to put something else out. It might not be from Microsoft, but they know how to put something new out. You stole some old code source. Okay, yeah. So what? Microsoft and AMD probably like we can make something completely different that they won't even know, or it's already been done.
Change like some kind of coding or something. Yeah, like see, that's the thing, is like I'm completely, I do not know anything about this kind of stuff. So
Well, the way like it all goes too, like I'm sure that code is so old at this point too. Like I'm sure they've changed the code. I'm sure they've put more security measures in. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm sure.
Mhm.
I'm just. I don't know, man. I think this is all just. I wonder if it's just somebody saying that to try to get a rise out of someone and hopefully maybe get paid or not. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, well, the joke online is like, because PlayStation's new console is like is looking to be not as great as Xbox's. So like someone was a PlayStation person did this just to try to throw some bad press or whatever, but it's all just stupid
I think more
console war
people.
stuff.
I think more people were laughing at the person who stole it than Microsoft. It's just like
Yeah.
really.
Well, no, yeah, no. I mean, people are just joking around on the internet, saying that it was a Sony fan that did this to try to make Xbox look bad. But it's just a mess. We'll see what comes of it. Because again, like I said, I don't really know a whole lot when it comes to like the coding stuff and all that, and like I would have to like read an article from someone who like really knows like in depth, like what could possibly do with this information. But so all right, so that is it for the news, and we don't really have a topic, so we've been going a little while. So.
There's a just to put in a little bit more content here. Pure Xbox has a list of confirmed Xbox Series X games that if you want to go over those real quick. I mean, we don't have to talk like we did last week about all the games, but like all the Series X games that have been confirmed. I'll just run down the list real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
And we'll just talk about them afterwards. But Cyberpunk 2077, Dying Light 2, Gears 5 via patch, Gods and Monsters, Gothic, Halo Infinite, Outriders, Rainbow Six Quarantine, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, Starfield, The Lord of the Rings Gollum, Rainbow Six Siege via patch, Ultimate Fishing Simulator 2, Warframe, Watch Dogs Legion, and WRC9 are the confirmed games. So
Dying Light 2 is a questionable one because I thought that went on indefinite hiatus. I thought
they delayed the release date indefinitely, but they're still working on it.
Still working on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's why I knew it was weird to be on that list.
Yeah, it was kind of the same, like almost in the same vein as the Watch Dogs Legions, where they just kind of, like they had other things they wanted to focus on, and then they were going to get back to it. Basically, it was just like they wanted to take some time to like strategize or whatever with how they're going to deal with stuff in games.
Was Watch Dogs 3 Legion supposed to come out this year or
it was
last?
It was supposed to be out already. It was supposed to come out in February, and then they delayed
of the year. Yeah,
but Breakpoint made it get delayed, probably.
Well, it was. They said that the sales of Division 2 and the reception of Breakpoint made them reevaluate the games that were in development, so they delayed them all to make sure that they are, especially because Breakpoint wasn't exactly the game that people wanted it to be when it came out. Which, by the way, did you read the Breakpoint 2.0 patch notes? That game it sounds like they're changing almost everything. It's going to be more like it's going to be less like the Division and more like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, where like you can pick up gear, but it's like it just has different perks and different traits on it, and the gear seems to be growing with you instead of I have to throw away this sniper rifle because it's 3 levels lower than what I need it to be. So it looks really cool. I'm actually excited once this launches. I'll probably jump into that because it's a game I've been wanting to play for a while, but also I know that they've been trying to fix some patches with it, or they were going to patch it and like change a lot of stuff, and I wanted to wait for that version of the game. So
yeah,
I played a little bit. I've been trying to do the story, and it's just
everyone says that game is not. It's not about the story. It's about playing with friends. Everyone says that really that game is just to be played with friends, and that's really where the best part of it is.
But
Division 2, I enjoy playing by myself. I don't mind it, but like I think this doesn't have the kind of draw that Division has. I feel like.
Well, it feels like from what they showed at the trailer to what was actually executed, it's two different things.
Plus now, like they're getting into really ridiculous stuff where you have to like. Do you see the Sam Fisher Terminator expansion that they're coming out with?
I heard about it. I haven't seen it.
It's like you have to meet up with Sam Fisher, and you guys are gonna go investigate some like. Pretty much, you have to go like see what Skynet is up to, pretty much, and like then you have to fight Terminators. It's like, what is happening in Ghost Recon? but anyways, yeah, like that, like Watch Dogs and Gods and Monsters were supposed to be out already. Which Gods and Monsters is a game that I'm really looking forward to. based on the little bit that we've seen. Obviously, Hellblade, I think a lot of us are looking forward to also.
Yeah.
That
And then and then we've also got confirmation that that Gears Tactics, or did you say that? Did you mention that?
No, I didn't.
Say
Gears 5 is getting a Series X
Gears
enhancement.
Tactics is coming to Xbox One.
Yeah, that Gears Tactics will be coming.
Did you guys watch the IGN's preview footage of that game?
No, I haven't yet. I've
dude.
been so busy.
I can't
today.
for Tactics. For Gears
For
Tactics.
Xbox.
No, it's the PC version of Tactics,
PC version.
but it looks
I haven't got a
awesome.
chance.
I cannot wait for Gears Tactics. They did confirm that the main character in the game is Kate's dad, so that's really interesting because it's going to tie directly into the new trilogy. It seems like at some point. It takes place 3 years after Gears Judgment and 10 years before the first game. Marcus has already been in prison in this game, and this is basically the story of them using the Hammer of Dawn to scorch the world. So,
is Judgment the one? Judgment is supposed to take place is before actually Gears 1, right?
Yeah, it's 13 years before Gears 1.
Okay.
Yeah, I did a whole. After I watched that footage, I was going down the story of Gears and trying to remind myself of the timeline of Gears, because they said this takes place 10 years before. So, dude, I think, by the way, Gears Judgment, underrated. Not as good as the other Gears games, but it's underrated, I feel. I feel like that game gets a lot of crap because it wasn't developed by Epic. It was developed by People Can Fly.
It has an arcadey feel to it.
That's what they were going for. And then they changed the way, they actually map it feels like the button combinations feel more like a first-person shooter, like you use Y to switch your weapons, and grenades are on your shoulder button instead of switching it on the D-pad. And the coolest thing about that game, though, the boom shields, like the big shields that you can hold up with, they took the in the main series, when you use one, you can only use your sidearm. In that one, you can use the sawed-off shotgun.
Nice.
And it's awesome. So,
so right now in the whole Gears universe, is there 9 games?
9.
6 Gears. 8 for right now. If we add Gear 6, let's just say for hypothetical, they added it. Gears 1 through 6, Judgment would be 7. Gears Pop and Gears Tactics would be 9. If they're just hypothetically adding Gear 6.
Yeah, it's 8.
But
it's 8.
It's 8
9.
without Gear 6.
9. 9. Yeah. Gears Pop doesn't count though. That game.
But for Gears,
I refuse to download it. So, but I'm actually excited to see what this Gears 5 enhancement is, because that game already looks amazing.
Right. I think it's going to be like the frame rate, and definitely graphically and color-wise.
Well, they said they're working on a 1440p 120 frames a second version with ray tracing.
Yeah, which
Gears at 120 frames a second is going to burn your eyeballs.
Well, did you guys watch that Digital Foundry, that other one where they kind of actually go in depth about the software that's like built into the Xbox that will basically put the HDR, like they show how it puts HDR on old games.
Yeah, it's using the machine learning to add HDR to old games, because like they added it to Halo 5 and it never had it to begin with. So that's pretty cool.
And they showed Fusion Frenzy with it.
and that's why I was just like, I want to see more of the power of the Series X with an actual game. Like, I want to see a level of from Halo Infinite running on Series X to see what can.
We will.
I know, but I just wanted to see it. I was
You've
just like,
gotta
come on.
be patient.
I can't be patient. I want to see like if this is gonna do 1440p, 120 frames per second, and Halo Infinite is the prime example to do that. Blow my literal crazy mind.
I mean,
with
Halo
me
5
saying-
already does that. Halo 5 already does that. 1440p, 120 frames
Yeah, on the One
on the
X.
X.
on the OX. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's the thing is like just like all the other consoles, like as we're getting to the end here, the Xbox One X is actually getting, being able to be pushed to do some pretty amazing stuff already.
yeah, supposedly the
If
Division
you have the TV,
supposedly the
if you
Division
have the TV
2
that loud.
supposedly the Division 2 supports it also.
Yeah, you
But
you had mentioned
the
the
60 fr-
100 the
yeah.
120.
120.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know like how that affects frame rates or anything. I know like it just makes it smoother, but I don't know how that affects frame rates because I thought the Division 2 on console only ran at 30 frames, but I don't know, that could just be me. I don't know.
I think the box says I had to look at it. I think it has OX enhancements.
Yeah, I know.
It said-
I know it does, but I'm just saying like in terms of whatever.
Of what it actually says. Yeah,
Yeah.
that
I haven't touched that. I should play
'Cause
some Destiny.
Because do they sell on boxes? If it does have Xbox OX enhancements.
It should say
Yeah.
it should say
enhanced state?
Xbox One X enhanced on the box. I mean,
Yeah.
usually games now, all of them do. I'm sure, all the ones that are recent. So, but yeah, I mean,
I would love to see Forza Horizon on Series X.
That's
that enhance.
well, you're gonna get Forza 8, I'm sure, on Series X for sure. Forza
Yeah.
Motorsport 8 for sure. We'll have it all.
Is it?
Yeah, I have my copy of Call of Duty World War II, and right up at the top above Call of Duty World War II, it says 4K Ultra HD, HDR, Xbox One X Enhanced.
Yeah.
But
And then on
in
the back, and then
when they
on the
have
back
none of
it
those.
says stuff too. It says Xbox One X Enhanced, Ultra HD, HDR, and then so it says
They
it
don't
right
say
on.
that like the 60 frames per second or the.
Well,
or
if it's Xbox One X Enhanced, then that's gonna mean that that whatever
You have
the
a
best
choice.
version of it will be. Yeah, you'll have that choice in game
I thought
to
they was-
change.
Well, I mean, but you
I thought
have
they was
games
talking
that are
about the
designed.
frames
Yeah.
and P.
You have games that are designed around the frame rate though, because like Call of Duty runs at 60 frames a second regardless of what platform it's on. So
Yeah,
I mean that was true last gen too. I mean it was never the best looking game, but it always ran the smoothest, which is why people were drawn to it. As opposed to Halo never ran at 60 frames a second until this generation. So
With Halo 5.
well the Master Chief Collection, all those games got
Ran to 60 frames.
yeah. So
and
but
4K.
this list of games, what games are you guys most excited for from this list? I mean, obviously Halo Infinite's going to be at the top of all of our lists, I'm sure.
I know Hellblade 2 will be one of them.
Yeah. For me, Watch Dogs Legions, I'm excited for.
To really be honest with you, I think just Hellblade and Halo Infinite, like nothing else does anything for me. I think because Cyberpunk has been delayed so much, and I still feel like I'm seeing cutscenes. I kind of my hype and want for the game has dwindled. So it's just like I'll see what it does when it actually comes out. Dying Light 2, if it does come up for Series X, maybe later on, like next year or something, and it really shows what they were working on, then yes. Because I was going to get Dying Light 2. I really like where they was going with that. But I just
That's
now
another game I need to get back to. I have the first one, and I've only played like maybe 2 or 3 hours of it.
Watch Dogs 3 I could wait for. I think 2 is really good. But I think that their appeal for what they was trying to go for, I don't think a lot of people are still going to be for it when it actually comes out. I feel like they may have changed part of the game. So Watch Dogs 3 I could just like literally wait for it. Gears 5, of course. yes, I want that. I already got the game, so I'm gonna see how that goes when I get it. Like when it's actually finished and actually running on my TV. But yeah, pretty much just Halo and Hellblade at this time.
Yeah, I mean, Gods and Monsters was the other game on this list that I'm really excited for. But
But I'm getting that
honestly,
for Switch.
yeah, I was gonna say if it's still coming to Switch, that's probably the console I'm gonna get it on because I really love Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and this is that team's next game, and I really love that game to the point where like I was just writing down my favorite games of this generation, and I found Assassin's Creed Odyssey to be near the top of my list. So hopefully this game, them already having all the work put into Odyssey and them wanting to try something different in that formula seems like it's going to be right up my alley, especially with the it almost looks like a Breath of the Wild meets Kid Icarus style game. I wish Nintendo would just be like, hey, can we buy that game from you and you just develop it as a Kid Icarus game?
I do want to see what it's going to be their Horizon Zero Dawn from Microsoft.
Yeah, whatever whatever the initiative is working on. Which is rumored to be Perfect Dark, honestly.
Yeah, but can they?
Dude, I feel like this Perfect Dark is not going to be a first-person shooter. It's going to be in the vein of like a Metal Gear, like open world Metal Gear game, like Metal Gear 5. I feel like, or something of that nature. I feel like it's going to be the game that we're not expecting but never knew we wanted, and then when we play it, it's going to be exactly what we wanted Perfect Dark to be in the first place.
I feel like I could roll with that. You said Metal Gear, and I'm just like, damn, they mixed Metal Gear with a little Metroid in a sense. Like if the game wasn't level based.
I mean, honestly, I could see this game being almost Arkham City-esque. I mean, without being Batman, obviously, right? Like you need to upgrade your stuff to get access different different levels of the city or different areas of the city.
The new Hitman. If it was like the new Hitman games where you're like you can like attack a scenario like a million different ways. Like I honestly like, but have more story to it. Because Jesse,
that would fit more for a multiplayer part of a Perfect Dark. Like I would enjoy that idea.
Yeah,
definitely do it multiplayer, so you really can play against other players. It really heightens what you're going to be doing and get away instead of just making a regular multiplayer. Like that would be cool. Like you do have it somewhere in the story mode, but it's actual other players around the world fitting those roles. And so
you could even make it where it's like there's two different ways to play the story to it. You can either play it by yourself or you can play it as multiple agents who like you'll kind of almost like that what was that game where you had to work together to try to get out of the prison or whatever? Was it just called Get Out? No. Well, I forget what that was called. The one where you're like in prison, you got to try to break out, and you had to play 2-player.
The EA one.
Yeah. Like I could see you doing something like that, even like where you've got to work together. You're not necessarily in the same room together, but the things that you're doing together like will ultimately like affect like how the mission moves forward. Like where you've got to work together, not necessarily in the same place. Which kind of similar to like what they did with that the Dark Pictures games where you can be you're playing the same game but different stuff is happening on each other's screen. But you're still but you're still working together to ultimately move the story. Like something like that where they just do something like that's just unique or just something that would be like, if you want to have this kind of experience, this is the only game that's doing it right now, like this way, like something like that. But like that's the
Like,
thing. Like we could sit here for hours and come up with ideas, and it would very well that it still would be
but I
nothing
but
like like what we're
but I
talking
would
about.
go for a perfect like that for like what you guys just said for both of y'all.
Hmm.
I would love for to have that kind of perfect dog. I would buy it.
Hmm. Yeah, I've always loved the Perfect Dark franchise, and like because of its time, it just like I feel like it could have had a much more deeper, meaningful storyline to it.
Hmm.
But it just wasn't something I really super got into. I just loved playing with friends, playing versing each other, just like we did with 007 back in the day on N64 and
Oh,
stuff.
nah.
But yeah, yeah, I think that would. I don't know, man. That's why this is so exciting. This generation is because we really don't know. Like there's so much we don't know about what's coming. And it's
I think
great. I mean,
I think that's why inside Xbox, if they decide to do a special one for E3,
mhm,
I think that would be the one that mostly everybody would watch. That they would set
mhm,
time and everybody would just join in and watch and actually see some
yeah,
games and
yeah,
stuff being revealed for it.
Well, I mean, those are
yeah,
two games that are really, I'm really excited for. Like, right, like the Initiatives game and also Playgrounds game. They have that whole
yeah.
action RPG team, which is supposedly working on a Fable game. Like, those are two
Hmm.
huge games that we don't know about yet. Those could be like, if Microsoft is going to go guns blazing this summer, during the digital E3 stuff, if that ever comes to
Hmm.
fruition, right? Like those are two huge guns in their arsenal that they haven't revealed yet, and people could
Hmm.
get really excited for Perfect Dark and Fable. Like I could really
Hmm.
see them doing something interesting with those franchises.
Well, like when we first initially were, hearing these rumbles of this being a thing, like I thought, well, like this could ultimately be their chance to be able to um basically make their own version of a Splinter Cell game without having to rely on Ubisoft, to do Splinter Cell games.
Hmm.
Like ultimately, this could be like they could basically make, Perfect Dark their Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
Like because I mean, it's basically
I mean,
it's the same kind of idea. It's
but
like
it's the stealth genre because the stealth genre feels like it faded out in a sense.
yeah, but
Uh,
people still love Splinter Cell. People
I mean,
like
yeah,
people have
it's
been
still
dying for a
for a
Splinter
Splinter
Cell
Cell.
game.
Yes, that is true. But but just the stealth genre in general, I'm like, I think it's been just that it's been in so many games that people are used to it. But when it's just stealth, brought the whole game like
think-
Hitman and stuff.
I think people
Oh, go ahead,
kind of
Corey.
lost interest in. I mean, not that stealth is like a. It just feels more like a niche genre, and I think that's why Ubisoft hasn't spent a lot of time bringing Splinter Cell back at the
Yeah.
moment. Is because like, look how big Assassin's Creed is, and Rainbow Six and The Division.
Uh-huh.
Like, these are all 10 million plus selling games, right? Like,
Yeah.
they took a risk with For Honor, right? And I mean, that game still has its audience, and it sold quite well, but it didn't sell as many units as they wanted to in the beginning. It just had a long tail on it, right? It kind of sold like Rainbow Six has, right? Like where it sold okay in the beginning, but then it just kind of grew and grew over time, and it's just a game nobody ever talks about because it has their dedicated community. Like they just had a Prince of Persia event, which was like really interesting to watch. If you watch streams of it or videos of it or whatever, like they clearly have assets for Prince of Persia, and they're fighting in the Prince of Persia castle, and all their costumes that you can unlock or buy are Prince of Persia related, and it's amazing. And it made me want a Prince of Persia game, but like I don't know if a new Splinter Cell could sell like that. You know, I think that they would have to temper expectations with the Splinter Cell game and be like, look, we can sell 2 million copies of this game.
Right.
And
it would basically have to get a Breath of the Wild treatment. And, you know, and that's basically what I think they would have the opportunity to use Perfect Dark and be able to do it. Because I think the thing is,
if you're bringing up Breath of the Wild, if you're bringing up Breath of the Wild, I would love to see Fable take that approach and actually add that like the good and bad dynamic to it, where like, okay, you can solve this dungeon or whatever however you want to, but it's going to add points to your scale of good and bad type stuff, and then that's how the game changes over time.
That good and bad system has to stick with Fable, because that's
the selling point.
Right. Of making Fable and making the look of your character on what quests and stuff you get. So if a new Fable does come out, that has to stay in. Because just reported to the game.
Well, and like what I would like to see is like someone really take the like the system that they had in Breath of the Wild. You know how you could like climb anything. But what if they built that ability more around your character? So like if you're let's say you go into a dungeon, and there could be 3 different ways that you could get to the final end of a dungeon, but how you progress through the dungeon or get to that final battle would depend on your character and its traits and abilities. So like if your character is good at climbing, you could climb like most of it, and there'd be certain things that you could find, only if you climb it to get to the certain areas. But if you're someone who has to use a different route to get there, they could really take some of those kind of ideas and like put more depth to them, and like more of an RPG style like depth to them, where your character is being built as you're doing certain things. Like you choose different ways to get certain places, and that determines what your character is best at, kind of thing. There's definitely a lot of things that they could easily do with that game, with Fable as well. So like you were saying, Corey, there's just those couple of games that are just really exciting to think about and try to figure out what exactly is going through their minds and what we're going to be seeing soon. It's exciting. It's definitely fun. Whether you're a PlayStation or an Xbox or a Nintendo main, all of them have some great things to look forward to right now. So I'm excited for everything that's coming.
We just had a Nintendo Direct. I wonder what the next Inside Xbox is going to bring, and I know a lot of people are excited for what PlayStation has, but
I think Microsoft got something planned for wherever E3 would be, because with Nintendo having an ARMS announcement in June, they might be like, well, if they're doing a Nintendo Direct and feel like it's going all out, I think we need to go all out again.
Well, I think they said they're going to go all out in June, because it's going to be their whatever their digital event's going to be, right? Like I still think it's going to be Phil. I think it's going to be a Nintendo Direct style video with Phil and Major Nelson and all the key players at Xbox right now. Rubenstein and all those.
They have their personalities that really work for them. So it's just,
I do think the only thing I don't really care for about Inside Xbox that it feels way overproduced and way overacted. I would say I think that's too strong of a word, but I feel like everybody is way too enthusiastic about everything, and I just need to they turned it up to 11. I think they need to turn it down to an 8, and just kind of deliver the information. I get people, you want to get people excited, but there's a way to do that without feeling fake. And I'm not saying everybody feels that way, just sometimes, like, you know, that I just remember one of the last Inside Xboxes that happened. Like, they brought one of the developers from EA out about I don't know if it was for Need for Speed or for Madden or something, but like they were just like, it was something. No, it wasn't that. It was something really stupid that was coming out from EA that was like one of their smaller games or something, and they were just like, they brought him out and overhyped him, and then that guy looked like he had never been on stage before in his life, and he was trying to act overhyped and stuff, and I was just like, come on, guys, let's just go, come on.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, is like a lot of them are like, there is a point in time with certain things where you can be too professional about something, and just like, you know, like just not, you know, not set the right kind of mood, because
you're trying to fill in time. You're trying to fill up that space so it can load on to the next thing. And it's just like, for me, it's just like, okay, we get the Game Pass deal. We already understand that. You don't have to do it 8 or 9 times. Just to calm. That's the stuff that needs to calm down. Like, I know that you guys are doing Game Pass and Ultimate Game Pass for $5 or $10, whatever.
I mean, I think Game Pass announcements are exciting.
Oh yeah,
but like, just to say that, it's like, to remind people that it's on sale 4 or 5 times during the event in like a 45-minute stretch is kind of like, okay, guys, we get it. It's on sale. Got it. But, nailed it.
But like, please continue to show. Like, I love it when they show like accessories, like when they do the controllers and stuff. It kind of remind you that, hey, even if this is not yours, we do have a store or whatever you want to call it for you guys to design your controllers.
Can we just say though, even outside the design lab stuff, that Xbox is just really killing it with controller designs. Like, they just their controllers are just awesome to look at. Even outside Xbox Design Labs, and I hope Xbox Design Labs continues on with Series X, and you can start designing Series X controllers, because they're just like, I've been wanting to do one for a while. And
Well, remember, that's kind of why I said, you know, like, before we got confirmation, I was like, I'm almost certain that our old Xbox One controllers will work with the new Xbox, just because
they already
so many people.
They already confirmed.
Well, no, I know, but I'm saying, like, before we got confirmation, I had already said, you know, one of my reasons that I thought it would be that our old controllers would move on to the next console is just because that lab thing is such a big thing, and like, so many people have spent money building their own personal controllers. It would be such a bad look if they were to say, yeah, by the way, all those controllers that you've built over the years, you can't use those on the new console. Like, that's like, because of that lab existing, I was almost certain that, like, I would have bet money on it that the old controllers would move forward with the new consoles, just because, you know, like that, like you said, there's so many cool things, and I mean, honestly, it really wouldn't be that difficult for them to you know, put the new controllers in there, because everything about the new controllers is basically going to be pretty similar. It's just, you know, like, it just will be, there'll be like a very, very subtle, you know, changes. So I definitely think that that's going to be something that will continue, because they'd almost be stupid not to, you know. It's such a big money maker.
Yeah.
Honestly. I mean, that's why they could take a hit on the price of the consoles, just because of the controller labs alone. Like, I'm sure they make boatloads of money from those.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know, because people are constantly like, oh, I want to get a, you know, new controller, you know, with these colors on it, or I want to get this, you know, like, for this person, or
plus,
you know,
they
like,
do deals on all the time with like free shipping and free engraving and all that kind of stuff. Like, like, my next Xbox controller I'll probably order it from Xbox Design Labs, because it's I've been wanting to do it for a while now that they, you know, obviously confirmed with Series X. Like, I'll probably order one as soon as like I need one or this Corona crap blows over.
Yeah.
And all this, whatever it's financially viable to do it. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we'll end the show there. That was some great extra content. So, Ed, where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at that pressure code. You can check me out on Mixer and on Xbox as the Lyrical One, and you can check out Optional Opinion on SoundCloud and other places.
Very nice. Corey, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at IamCoreyNHD and on Mixer at CoreyNHD. Also, if you want to play Xbox or Switch games, I have my Switch friend code and my gamer tag tagged on my Twitter. My gamer tag is just CoreyNHD713, so you can find me there as well. Yeah.
All right. And you can find me almost everywhere as Phantom NXS. So we're going to throw up the X as we're about to exit. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.